Most dangerous animals give you time. Time to reach a hospital, time to find the anti-venom, time to fight. The creatures on this list do not. Their venom is built for speed, designed to shut a body down before help can ever arrive, and with some of them, the very first symptoms hit within a minute of the strike. These are 12 animals that can kill you in under a minute, or come terrifyingly close to it. And we are starting in the air, with the largest, angriest wasp on the planet. The Asian giant hornet earned its nickname, the murder hornet, honestly. It is the largest hornet in the world, reaching around 5 centimeters, with a stinger long enough to punch straight through ordinary protective clothing. Its venom is a cocktail of cytotoxins that dissolve tissue and a neurotoxin called mandaratoxin, and unlike a bee, it can sting again and again and again, pumping in more venom each time. For most healthy people, a single sting is agony but survivable. The real danger is speed of a different kind. In someone who is allergic, that venom can trigger anaphylactic shock within minutes, closing the airway before anyone understands what is happening. There is also a grim second layer to the danger. The hornet can spray venom from its stinger, and there are reports of people left with permanent eye damage after being sprayed in the face. When these hornets attack in groups, defending a disturbed nest, the sheer number of stings can overwhelm even a healthy adult through the volume of venom alone. In Japan, these hornets kill somewhere between 20 and 50 people every year, making them, by a wide margin, the deadliest animal in the entire country. Barely 6 centimeters long, the deathstalker scorpion carries one of the most potent venoms of any scorpion on Earth. It hides in the deserts and scrublands from North Africa through the Middle East, pale yellow and almost invisible against the sand, and it does not need size to be dangerous. Its venom is a blend of powerful neurotoxins that attack the nervous system, causing an onslaught of pain, convulsions, and in severe cases, a racing, failing heart. For a healthy adult, a sting is described as one of the most excruciating experiences imaginable, but usually survivable. For a small child, an elderly person, or anyone with a weak heart, it can be lethal, and it acts fast. The venom is so resistant to treatment that even with anti-venom, a serious sting is treated as a genuine medical emergency, a race against a clock that started the instant the tail came down. If the death stalker is the most famous scorpion, the Indian red scorpion may be the deadliest. Found across India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, it is small, reddish, and it has a terrible habit of turning up exactly where people live, in homes, in fields, where barefoot children play. Its sting sets off a violent chain reaction in the body, vomiting, sweating, wild swings in heart rate and blood pressure, and then the real killer. The venom drives fluid into the lungs, a condition called pulmonary edema, and the victim can effectively begin to drown from the inside within hours. Reported death rates have ranged as high as 40% in untreated cases, falling hardest on the young. A heart medication has since cut that number dramatically, but where treatment is far away, this tiny scorpion remains one of the fastest, most efficient killers in the region. The death adder does not chase anything. It does the opposite. It buries itself in leaf litter or sand, leaves only the tip of its tail exposed, and wiggles it like a worm to lure prey, and sometimes a curious human, right into range. And then it delivers the single fastest strike of any snake on Earth. A death adder can go from still to striking to fully coiled again in under 0.15 seconds, faster than the human eye can even register. Its venom is a potent neurotoxin that causes progressive paralysis, and without antivenom, it can shut down the muscles you breathe with in a matter of hours. Before treatment existed, roughly 60% of death adder bites were fatal. And because it refuses to flee like other snakes, people stumble onto death adders constantly, stepping into range without ever knowing the snake was there. That combination, perfect camouflage, infinite patience, and the quickest strike in the reptile world is what makes it so feared. What makes it so dangerous is not aggression. It is stillness, and a strike so fast you will never see it coming. Let's pause for just a moment before the top 8. If your pulse is up a little, good, that means it is working. And subscribing helps me keep making videos exactly like this one. Now, back to the snakes whose venom does not wait. To Australia, and a snake responsible for more human deaths there than any other. The eastern brown snake is the second most venomous land snake in the entire world, and what makes it so deadly is not just potency, but proximity. It thrives near farms and towns, exactly where people are, and it is fast, nervous, and quick to strike when it feels cornered. The truly frightening part is the venom itself. It contains powerful toxins that hit the blood's ability to clot, causing a sudden, catastrophic collapse. And victims have been known to lose consciousness within minutes of a serious bite. The lethal dose is astonishingly small, just a few milligrams. With modern antivenom, most people now survive. But a full envenomation from an eastern brown is one of the few snake bites that can drop a person before they even reach a phone. Sharing the southern edge of Australia is the tiger snake, named for the dark bands that often stripe its body. It is a wetland hunter found near creeks, rivers, and swamps, and it is both highly venomous and easily provoked. When a tiger snake feels threatened, it flattens its neck like a cobra, hisses, and strikes with real speed. Its venom is a brutal combination, a neurotoxin that begins shutting down the nervous system, along with toxins that destroy muscle and wreck the blood's ability to clot. Before antivenom, a bite from a tiger snake killed a frightening share of its victims, with untreated mortality estimated well above half. The symptoms can begin within minutes: numbness, sweating, difficulty breathing, and it is that early, rapid onset that makes the tiger snake a snake you never want to surprise. Now we cross to Asia, and the first member of the notorious Big Four, the group of snakes that together kill tens of thousands of people every year. The Russell's viper is a heavy-bodied snake with a loud, carrying hiss, and it is responsible for a staggering number of deaths across the Indian subcontinent, by some estimates around 25,000 in India alone each year. Part of the reason is simple. It loves the same fields and villages where people live and work, drawn there by rats. Its venom is a devastating hemotoxin. It destroys tissue, triggers uncontrolled internal bleeding, and attacks the kidneys. And even survivors are often left with permanent damage. One of the cruelest details is its effect on the blood. The venom can leave survivors bleeding from the gums, the eyes, and old wounds for days, and can trigger long-term kidney failure that requires dialysis for the rest of a person's life. When it strikes with startling force, and in a region where a hospital may be hours away, that speed is the difference between life and death. Next is the Indian cobra, one of the most recognizable snakes on Earth, and another of the Big Four. Unlike most of the killers on this list, it hunts by day, which means far more chances to cross paths with a human being. Its venom is a fast-acting neurotoxin, And this is where the speed becomes real, because a serious bite can cause respiratory distress and even cardiac arrest within 30 minutes to a couple of hours. The venom paralyzes the muscles, and as the diaphragm fails, breathing simply stops. The cobra is also intelligent and alert, rearing up and spreading its famous hood as a final warning. Anti-venom saves the vast majority of those who reach it in time, but the clock on an Indian cobra bite runs fast, and in much of its range, that clock is the enemy. The common krait may be the most insidious snake in the world. It is nocturnal, and its favorite hunting ground is often the ground where people sleep. There are countless reports of victims bitten in the night who never even woke, because the krait's bite can be almost painless, a small pinch dismissed as an insect. While the person sleeps on, the venom, one of the most potent neurotoxins in Asia, quietly paralyzes the body from within. Respiratory failure sets in during the night, and by morning it is too late. Studies suggest respiratory failure occurs in roughly half of serious bites. Because the bite is so mild, victims often do not seek help until the paralysis is already advanced, by which point the venom has done its work. Doctors in rural Asia have learned to recognize the pattern: a sleeping person who cannot be woken, with 2 tiny puncture marks somewhere on the body. The horror of the krait is not a dramatic strike. It is the silence, a killer that works while you are unconscious and unaware, giving you no chance to react at all. At number 2, the fer de lance, the snake responsible for more bites than any other across much of Central and South America. Its name means spearhead, a nod to the triangular head, and the camouflage that makes it nearly invisible on the forest floor. It has a dangerous temperament. It often freezes rather than fleeing, and it thrives in exactly the plantations and farmland where barefoot workers move, often hours from the nearest clinic. Its venom is a savage hemotoxin. It turns tissue black as it dies, causes massive internal bleeding, and can send the body into fatal cardiovascular shock. The venom acts quickly and aggressively, and untreated bites carry a mortality rate of around 30%, with many survivors losing fingers, hands, or entire limbs. Adding to the danger, a single female can give birth to dozens of fully venomous young at once, each one dangerous from the moment it is born, which keeps their numbers high in exactly the areas people farm. Few snakes combine venom, temperament, and location into such a deadly package. And at number 1, the coastal taipan, widely considered the fastest-killing snake in the world. Before an anti-venom was developed in the 1950s, a bite from a coastal taipan was very nearly a death sentence, with an untreated mortality rate approaching 100%. It has the 3rd most toxic venom of any land snake, one of the longest fangs of any Australian snake, and it injects venom in more than 80% of its strikes. The venom attacks the nerves controlling the heart, the lungs, and the diaphragm, suffocating the victim as the body loses the ability to breathe. In severe cases, death has come as fast as 30 minutes after the bite. The taipan is also nervous and lightning quick, capable of landing several bites in a single blurred defensive flurry. For decades before that anti-venom existed, being bitten by one in the remote north of Australia meant there was often simply nothing anyone could do but wait. The man who first milked a coastal taipan to develop the antidote was himself bitten in the process, and nearly died completing the work that would go on to save countless others. It is everything the animals on this list represent, distilled into one snake: raw speed, overwhelming venom, and almost no time to react. Every animal here shares a single, chilling trait. They take away the one thing a victim needs most: time. The lesson is not to live in fear of them, but to respect exactly how fast the natural world can move, and how often survival comes down to distance from help, not the strength of the venom itself. Of course, there are other fast killers I could have included, and I am sure some of you thought of one. So tell me in the comments, which of these would you least want to meet? Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.